one of the things I think it's super important to get right before you start teaching on Sketchbook or another drawing app is what actually happens with your pen. Now, depending on which tablet you're using, your pen's going to have some buttons. So obviously, this is just me writing with the end of the pen. But if I press a button on the side of the pen, it kind of does stuff. Okay, so it's like, well, what is that stuff and what's it doing? What is all this stuff? And I want to show you guys perhaps ways to set up your pen. So I've got my settings open here. I'm on a Mac here, so just be aware if you're on a Windows-based computer, you're going to have slightly different options here, but ultimately you're going to have this kind of option here, which is the Wacom tablet. So I'm going to click on here, and you see here I've got my Cintiq 13-inch HD and my Pro Pen, which are available to me. Okay, and there's a couple of things that you can do right off the bat, which I would suggest are really, really, maybe they're just useful things to play with. In terms of tip feel, I never do anything with this. Okay, in fact, let's have a little go. So here's tip. I'm going to put tip feel as soft. Let's see what this does for me. Okay, all right, it's like that. Now let me take it to tip feel hard. Let's see what that's like. I don't notice any difference. Now, obviously, I'm not an artist and I'm not very good at these things, but you might find some use for these things. Okay. Now, a couple of other things I think are kind of nice here. If you go into calibration here, you've got the option to calibrate your device. Now, I'm using a Cintiq 13 HD1, and I hit this button here to calibrate, and you're going to see that my screen is now asking me to calibrate that. Okay, and it's now making sure that my pen is accurate for wherever I want to draw a circle around there. It gives me the accuracy for my pen controls to be correct. Okay, a couple of other points that I would just introduce you to. If we go back to pen here, you want to notice that my pen has two buttons on it, and they do sit very close to where your fingers hold the pen. So how do I want that to work? Well, you notice what I've got here is that the bottommost button I've got here, I've got that disabled. So if I click it, nothing happens. On the upper control there, I've got it on right click. Okay, and you can set that into how you want it here, or you could set it that it does something for you. Okay, you could decide how you want that to be. Now, for me, I prefer to have it just as a right click, or what you could do if you don't want the buttons to do anything at all, you could disable them. Okay, so you can do it that way as well if you want to. Now, I'm going to leave mine like that, so that's nice. Don't really know what options are here, so I'm just going to click that and have a look. If I go to the functions of my actual Cintiq here, again, what I can do is I can change what the calibration of my controls actually do. So if I go to the rocker ring, for example, I can change what the 4 buttons. So the one I use a lot is this one up here, undo. So I could move that to somewhere else. I might want to change what the middle button does. Maybe I want the middle button to be, I don't know, on-screen controls. I want it to be radial menu. I could set it to that. So there's things that you can do. But for me, I just want this one to be undo at the very top. It's a useful thing for me, and I use it quite a bit. Okay, so for me, that's kind of useful. Maybe what you guys would want to do is, maybe you'd want this one to be undo on this side and redo on this side, backwards and forwards. You could look at it that way. Okay, so for me, there's some key things. Again, you may find there's stuff that you want to do that's additional, but for me, that's what I look to have sorted out.